जय श्री कृष्ण प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. So welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita Sarartha Varshani Tika, which is the commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakra Thakur on the Gita. And then we are seeing the sub-commentary, which is uh, the commentary by Bhaktivinoda Thakur on the Sarartha Varshani Tika. So yesterday we began with the seventh chapter. We spent quite a lot time yesterday discussing the flow within the first six chapters, and then how the bhakti section in the middle is speaking about two types of bhakti. It is Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti and Kevala Bhakti. And mixed devotion, Krishna is in the middle six chapters going to compare with Mishra Bhakti versus Shuddha Bhakti. And Krishna begins with Maya Sakta Manapartha Yogam Yunjan Madashraya Asamshayam Samagramam Yata Gyasasi Tat Shunu. Just hear. By hearing, if when your mind becomes attached to me in a relation to me, then you have attained conquered material existence. So then all your doubts are dispelled. Samagram, Samshayam. And then you have attained yoga. The union. We are in the process of union, trying to link ourselves to the absolute truth. But when the Gyan completely transforms into Vigyan, which is at the stage of Asakti, when the mind is attached to only Krishna and nothing else, then we have conquered material existence in one sense. So, yesterday we saw in detail Srila Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's commentary on the first verse, and we discussed quite in detail the commentary, and we did a lot of exercises to test your knowledge about how well we have understood the first six chapters. So today I will now continue the discussion on the first verse itself. Now this is Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary, which is following Vishwanath Chandra Thakur's commentary. So I'll go through that and then we'll continue with the second verse. O Parth, in the first six chapters, I explained Jnana and Ashtanga Yoga. So this is what when Vishwanath Chandra Thakur had also mentioned. These are paths to attain liberation and they require the help of Nishkam Karma Yoga to purify the heart. So this is exactly the statement even yesterday we saw Vishwanath Chakra Thakur makes. In the second set of six chapters, I am explaining Bhakti Yoga. Please listen, Tatshunu, with your mind. Steadfast it should be. My goodness, stand fast it has become. Okay. With your mind steadfast in attachment to having taken complete shelter of me, Mad Ashraya, by practicing Bhakti Yoga, Yogam Yunjan Mad Ashraya, you will attain thorough knowledge of me. Gyasasi Mam. There is no doubt about this. Asamshayam. So you can see how Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing his commentary on each of the word lines which we are seeing now. So there is a power failure. Looks like the broadband connection is cut. So I'll just shift to the internet dongle. I'm just connecting to the dongle. Yeah, hopefully there's no problem. Samshayam. Now, as Vishwanath Chakravarti had quoted, from the verses from the Bhagavatam, and he had mentioned that Atmagyan is basically leading to impersonal realization, and impersonal is superior to personal. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur uses some terms, and that is Nirvishesh Brahman and Savishesh Gyan. Knowledge of Nirvishesh Brahma is incomplete because it denies knowledge of the qualities of the personal feature of the Absolute, Savishesh Gyan. One attains the featureless Nirvishesh conception by negative material variety. You negate all material variety. My Nirvishesh Brahman nature manifests as the object of this featureless conception, which is not beyond the modes of material nature. This is because it merely transcends physical and mental knowledge and is therefore limited to knowledge in the mode of goodness. Sattva. Jnana, Jnana path is in the Sattva path. Bhakti is a special function that is transcendental to the modes of nature. Bhakti is Nirgun. My form is also Nirgun beyond material nature and can only be seen by the living entity whose eyes are Nirgun. That means we should have transcendental eyes, Divya Chakshu, not celestial eyes. Here, Divya, I mean, you know, not celestial eyes, but transcendental eyes. Having been uncovered by the process of Nirgun Bhakti. Only by Nirgun Bhakti, this thing is uncovered. So that's what Bhaktivinoda Thakur just mentions. And I just wanted to, you know, uh, this Savishesh Gyan which is mentioning. What is this Savishesh Gyan? Anyone would like to answer? What is this Savishesh Gyan? Birkrish Prabhuji. What is this Savishesh Gyan? Are you there? No, okay. Navneet Kalra Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
I think it's knowing the God in the with his full features, internal and external potencies, and his relationships.
Yeah, but it is specifically Bhagavad Gyan. Services Gyan is Bhagavad Gyan, which is the title of this chapter, Bhagavad Gyan Vigyan Yoga. So that is also Services Gyan. Okay, quite good. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur's commentary is quite brief. So now let's go to the second verse. Now, as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur had mentioned, if you remember, I'm just sharing now. I have connected also my writer. Hopefully it will write now. Yes, it is writing. Yes, yes. So I did not get the time to mark, but I'll mark and I'll send the slides then. So he mentioned that there are two verses which speak about it. Uh, so all the glory of bhakti only. He's qualified with Gyan. Gyan means here Savishesh Gyan also. Okay. The Lord then answers in two verses. One would expect that he's qualified with Gyan and realization Vigyan. So he has spoken this verse. Now the second verse is also speaking how he's qualified with Gyan and Vigyan. And that is also the connection to the second verse. Jnanam teham savignanam idam vakshamya yajgyatva neha bhuyo jnatavyam avashishyate. I will explain to you asheshata te aham vakshami. Vakshami means to explain. Knowledge of my powers, jnana. So here jnana, as I mentioned, Bhagavad Jnana Vigyan Yoga. Knowledge of the Lord's powers and sweetness. Vigyan is sweetness and the knowledge of my sweetness. Jnanam sa Vigyanam. knowing which yaj gyatva, nothing else remains to be known. Anyad gyatavyam na iha bhuya avashishyate. So this is how Vishnu Chakra Thakur is translated. Prabhupada keeps the translation still more philosophical. Of course, we will not study it now, but once we are studying Prabhupada's commentary, that time we will go into detail of that. So here, what jnanam means? Aishwarya Gyan, knowledge of the Lord's powers. So chapter 7, chapter 8 will speak. And Vigyan is Madhurya Gyan. Madhurya Gyan means the sweetness of the Lord, like how the Lord reciprocates with his devotees and protects his devotees, like Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, it is mentioned. Na? So, and then both together is presented in chapters 10 to 12. So, Gyan and Vigyan together. So before attaining the stage of attachment to me, the devotee understands Jnanam about my powers. After that, he realizes Vijnanam, my sweetness. Hear about both of these. Srila Vishnu Chakra Thakur. So this is the commentary. That's it. Before attaining the stage of attachment to me, the devotee understands Jnanam about my powers. After that, he realizes my sweetness. Hear about both of these. Knowing this, nothing else remains to be known. For knowledge and realization of my impersonal aspect are included in it. Okay, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Before my devotee attains deep attachment for me, asakti, whatever knowledge he has of me is full of awe and reverence. So this is Aishwarya Gyan. For this reason, it is called Gyan. So this knowledge of the Lord's powers or Aishwarya is called as Gyan. Please listen to me now. I instruct you on the knowledge which is endowed with complete realization of me and is achieved after attaining attachment to me. So after attachment to Krishna, what happens? Let us see who will answer. After we attain this Gyan and this Gyan keeps on increasing, this is Bhakti Sambandhit Gyan, and this Gyan keeps on increasing, and this Gyan leads to Bhakti, and this Bhakti leads to Gyan, and this Gyan again leads to Bhakti. So that's why this is Gyanam Yad Ahetukam. This is Ahetuki Gyan. You know. So we call this as a symbiotic relationship that one leads to other. Whereas the jnana of the jnanis for impersonal liberation, there is a hetu in it. So that's why it cannot be called as ahetuki jnana. No? Bhakti is ahetuki, causeless. The causeless nature of bhakti is established by Srila Vishnu Chakra Thakur in the Madhurya Kadamini. So, as this gyan keeps on increasing, the bhakti keeps on increasing, and it comes to a, vigyan. It comes to a, the gyan transforms into vigyan. Now, what happens? And at what stage does gyan, transforms into vigyan? Who would like to answer? Let us see if we have understood this. At what stage? It's indicated very clearly here. Anyone would like to try? Raise your hands. Navneet Kalra Mataji, yes.
At Asakti,
Yes. On from this verse, it is very clear, Asakti. And at actually you attain a relationship with Krishna in Rasa in Bhava stage. So that is what this verse is speaking. And that's why this is a Prayojan verse I mentioned to you. But Prabhupada keeps it practically at our level that at sadhana stage, how we should hear about Krishna because, he's giving very pragmatic instructions. But Vishnu Chakra is speaking from the Prayojan point of view. He is giving this highest, and then how to now, where it begins with Jnanam Teham Sa Vijnanam, So, like that. Once you understand this, there is nothing more for you to know in this world. Once you know Krishna, Krishna is the creator of the universe, you know everything. So I'm just giving you an example just how to really understand this Aishwarya Gyan and Madhurya Gyan. Suppose you have your schoolmate who's been a heart-to-heart friend of yours, and you have sat together in the bench and you had very good heart-to-heart friendship. and you grow like that, and you both become adults, and then you have that same friendship. But now you understand that my friend is not an ordinary friend. He's a multi billionaire. He owns hundreds of car companies. And yet, having so much Aishwarya, he has that same intimacy, the same friendship what he had in the childhood, and he doesn't bring in his opulence, and they relish, their friendship more than, what, he doesn't bring that into his powers into picture. And the so what happens is, the more the sweetness in this relationship is recognized, although there is Aishwarya, and that Aishwarya is, not so much looked into, what happens is the attachment of that friend towards this friend becomes more deeper and more sweeter. I hope you're getting this point. So, the more we understand the powers of Krishna, the Aishwarya Gyan, the more we link with him, in bhakti, then when Krishna, understanding his wonderful qualities, how is Bhakta Vatsal, that he becomes a chariot driver of his devotee out of his prema, captured by the love, he becomes, a messenger of Yudhishthira Maharaj. So there is a sweetness, and that kind of intimacy is only achieved when you are in rasa with Krishna. That is when you are, having attained asakti, and you are in bhava stage where you are actually having a relationship. So then that is Vigyan. So I hope with this example, it has become clear what Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is trying to say, Jnanam and Vigyan. Okay. So you have any questions? Each verse also you're free to raise your hands. I'm just going to go until we stop at a particular section. Manushanam, yeah, okay. Bir Krish Prabhuji, yes. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
This Vigyan and Nidhi Dhyasan, it has some connection. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah. I'm just meditating on what you're trying to ask. Vidhyante hriday granthim chindante sarva samshaya shiyante chasya. No, before that. Evam prasanna manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogata Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam. So Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam. So the Tattva, there is a realization of the Tattva. So yes, definitely, that realization of the rasa with Krishna, the Gyan has transformed completely into Vigyan. And when you are acquiring knowledge, you are going through these processes of Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasan, and cultivating. You have realized your relationship with Krishna. Yes. In one sense, what I would say at this point is that Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasan is more or less like a sadhana which we need to practice. And actually, what keeps us in Krishna consciousness is the more we have knowledge of Krishna and more we go through the process of Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasan, and we have having the realized knowledge of Shastra, that realizations keep us in Krishna consciousness. But at a higher level, when we attain a relationship with Krishna, that is also Vijnanam, but that is no more, at the level of Buddhi, it is at the level of the soul and rasa, and that Vijnanam is on a different platform. But at a sadhana level, yes, there is a correlation. I hope you're able to follow what I said.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay,
Thank you.
wonderful question. It
Thank you.
really brought out something which I had never thought about. Thank you very much for that. Any other questions you have? Manushyanam sahasreshu Kaschid yatati siddhaye yatataamapi siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tatvata. Among thousands of men, manushanam sahastreshu, some attain success in their endeavors. Kaschid yatati siddhaye. Among those who attain success, yatatam api siddhanam, hardly anyone knows me. Kaschin mam vetti tatvata. So here, the three glories of knowledge Krishna is giving. One is the exaltedness of the destination, that you become asakta mana. And then the breadth of knowledge, jnanam teham savijnanam. You will know everything. That's what he says. Everything means, once you know Krishna, in one sense, you know everything like that. And the rarity of that acquisition of knowledge, this rarity is spoken here in this verse. Knowledge of me and realization of me are rare for Gyanis and Yogis who are described in the previous 6 chapters. Why knowledge of me and realization are rare for Gyanis and Yogis? Who will answer? Why it is rare? Who will answer? Let us see how well you've understood the difference between the first 6 chapters and now Krishna, what is giving this knowledge. Why? Why it is rare for yogis and Gyanis? Govinda Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandavat Pranam.
Yes. What is the
Because
reason?
because their goal is not to connect with Krishna.
Connect to what?
Their goal is liberation, right?
Liberation. So what type of Gyan is that? Savishesh Gyan or Nirvishesh Gyan?
Nirvishesh Gyan.
Nirvishesh Gyan. And the Gyan is basically Atma Gyan, body and mind, body and soul, correct?
Yes.
But here it is knowledge about Krishna. That's the difference. So that is why knowledge of me, Krishna is saying here. Knowledge of me or not knowledge of Atma, and realization of me or realization of Atma, and realization of me. So Gyan, his knowledge of me here. Please, Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary, you have to very carefully understand. It's very profound and deep. So here it is Gyan, and realization of me is Vigyan. Now, Gyan and Vigyan terms have been used in 6.7 in the Bhagavad Gita, but that is related to Nirvishesh, Brahman. But this Gyan and Vigyan referred here in the 7th chapter is referring to Savishesh Brahman. Brahma I'm writing, it's not Brahman actually. So it is the personal form of the Lord. So that is why it is rare for Gyanis and Yogis. First, the Lord speaks the rarity of realizing the sweetness of the Lord among those persons. So first, the Lord is speaking about the rarity of Vigyan. Among those persons. Among the countless Jesus, one may be a human being. Among thousands of humans, one of them may work for spiritual progress. Among thousands who work for spiritual, only one will know me. Only one person will directly realize me truly in the form of Sham Sundar. So he is now speaking about the rarity of Vigyan. So countless years, one may be a human being, and out of the thousands of him, one may write in Manushanam Saraswati, Yatatam api siddhe Atmagyan. Yatatam api siddhanam. Kaschin mam is there. So Kaschin mam is directly realize me as a form of Sham Sundar. So Braj Krishna. That means, to attain Vaikuntha Gyan of Narayan is also easy, but not Sham Sundar. Okay. This implies that the bliss from realization of the personal Brahman is thousands of times greater than the bliss from realization of the impersonal Brahman. Okay, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. In the first 6 chapters, it is mentioned that Gyanis and Yogis easily attain Brahmagyan, knowledge of spirit by deliberation. So there is Tat Buddhas, Tad Atmanas, Tan Nishta, Tat Parayana. There is deliberation, you know. So the Gyanis, attain that. And the yogis through the yoga sadhana, yatro paramate chittam niruddham yoga sevaya, yatra chaivatmanam pashan, by the yoga method, niruddham yoga sevaya. However, special knowledge of Bhagwan. So this is the difference now you have to see. There is knowledge of spirit and there is knowledge of Bhagwan is rarely attained for them because it is inconceivable beyond mental speculation. Among countless jivas, very few are in the human form of life. Among thousands of human beings, there may be only a few who endeavor for perfect auspiciousness. So, practically here, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is following Vishwanath Chakravarti. And out of thousands of perfected persons, only a few understand me and my perfect transcendental form in Tatvata. Kaschin mam vetti tatvata. Okay. Manushyanam sahasrishu. You can analyze it another way. Materialist. Kaschit yatati siddhe is transcendentalist. And Kaschin mam vetti tatvata is devotees. You can take it also other way. This is a general classification. But even among devotees, hardly one knows me, realizes my form as Shyam Sundar. That means you should attain Siddhi. Means one should become Sadhya Bhakta or Bhava Bhakta. Okay. So that completes this section. So now today we will also go into the second section from 1 to 12, know Krishna in full. 4 to 7 speak of Krishna as the source of everything material and spiritual. So before I begin with this section, any questions you have up till now of the first section? Any questions, any clarifications? Yes, Bir Krish Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes.
Prabhu, this knowledge about Krishna with this 7.3 verse, it is so rare. So how it should be seen, Prabhu? I mean, bhakti is so glorious from that angle, or it is, it is kind of, what to say? I mean, sometimes this verse gives another picture like, oh, it's the success rate is very rare.
See, first thing you have to understand that, the analysis what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does in the Rup Shiksha, that there is, char and achar. I did not bring out that slide here because, we are just focusing on Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There is moving and non-moving, and then there is Tavar, Tiryak and Jangam, something like that.
Yes, yes.
Those who are on land and in water and in air, Tiryak, like birds, And then in that there is Manusha Alpa. Very small number is human beings, out of which, you'll hardly find those who are following the path of the Vedas, Karmanishta. And in that also, all are, just following Bahir, just following the lip service. They are giving lip service to that. They are not actually. So among them also, those who are following the path of Dharma, hardly you'll find one who is very sincerely following the path of Dharma. कोटी कोटी धर्म वेद पारायण मध्ये एक धर्मनिष्ठ अँड कोटी कोटी कर्मनिष्ठ कोटी कोटी कर्मनिष्ठ मध्ये एक ज्ञानी दुर्लभ अँड कोटी कोटी ज्ञानी मध्ये एक ज्ञानी मुक्त out of thousands of jnanis who are practicing the jnana sadhana, hardly one might be liberated by the process of jnana. And koti koti jnani mukta madhe durlabh eka Krishna bhakt. So when durlabh eka Krishna bhakt is seen, that eka Krishna bhakt is actually a pure devotee, who is free from bhukti kami, mukti kami, and siddhi kami. He's nishkam, which means completely pure at heart. And where it all begins with, Brahmande Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Ji Guru Krishna Prasade Bhai Bhakti Lata Beach. So it is rare to find a pure devotee, you have to understand. But it is even rare to find someone who has taken up to devotion. So you have to understand that somebody who has taken to devotion means he is a rare soul. And having taken up to devotion and attained perfection, that also within the community of devotees, that's also rare. So that is how we have to see. So, but we should appreciate that somebody who has taken up to bhakti means, he has transcended all these karmis, jnanis, yogis, and come to Krishna bhakti means, that's really great. So we should recognize that in others and recognize for ourselves, and understanding it with that seriousness, we need to practice it. Okay?
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions you have about the first three verses? Okay. Now, Gyan, Krishna spoke about Gyanam Teham Savigyanam. Now he starts giving the Gyan from fourth verse onwards. Bhumirapo nalo vayu khammano buddhirevacha ahankaritiyam me bhinna prakriti. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, as well as the sense objects. For the earth it is smell, water it is taste, fire it is form, air it is touch, ether it is sound. Pradhan, Mahatattva, false ego with the 10 senses and Mahatattva. So Pradhan, Mahatattva and the false ego, refers to the products of the false ego. In the creation, the whole products of the false ego is there. There is, all these, all will fall in that. So that's altogether it makes up to 24 elements. I my separated energies in 8 divisions. Iyam Ashtada me Bhinna Prakriti. Now, Vishnu Chakatakur. And knowledge in relation to bhakti also means knowledge of the Lord's powers. So, this is now knowledge in relation to bhakti means to know knowledge of the Lord's powers. And this is referring to Gyan. Not knowledge of the Atma being separate from the body, which is knowledge in relation to the process of Gyan. So, Krishna is Shaktiman. And Krishna is Shama Sundar. Correct? But Krishna is also having Shaktis. And seeing the Lord in the form of his Shaktis, I'm just drawing one form. Understanding this is Gyan. Until you come to this point where you purify yourself and you can see this form of Shyam Sundar, then you come to Vigyan. So now Krishna is saying that you can see this entire material energy of the form of the Lord. Are you getting this point? So knowledge of the Lord's powers, that how Krishna has this Bhairanga Shakti by which he creates this whole universe. In defining knowledge of the Lord's power, the Lord speaks of his two energies, Prakriti, superior and inferior, in two verses. That is 7.4 and 7.5. So he speaks about his Shaktis, energies, Shaktis, and these Shaktis are Prakriti, but one is superior, one is inferior. One is para, one is apara. Para means superior, apara means inferior. That is the Bhairanga Shakti. The superior energy is the Jiva, which is also conscious. That is the difference. Note, the previous verse spoke about the Lord's sweetness. How rare it is to attain the Lord's sweetness. Kaschin Mam. Mam means one who realizes me as Sham Sundar. So that is what the rarity it spoke about. This and the next verse describe the Lord's powers, Jnanam. Jnanam, it speaks about these two by describing his inferior and superior energies. So the previous verse spoke about Vijnanam, and these two verses are speaking about Jnanam. By listing the 5 gross elements beginning with earth, the subtle elements known as sense objects, smell, taste, form, touch, sound, are to be understood, included as well. So there is earth, water, fire, air, ether, and then the sense objects that make it, 10. By the word of false ego, the 10 senses, Gyanendriyas, which arise from it, and the Mahatattva, its cause, is also to be included. So that makes it 16. Mahatattva is there, 5 plus 6, 50, 16. Mind and intellect are enlisted separately to show their greater importance among all the elements. So there is earth, the element is there, ether, sound, air, touch, fire, form, water, taste, and earth is fragrance. Knowledge of both my Swarupa and my opulence is called Bhagavad Gyan. Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is now giving some terminologies. Knowledge of both my Swarupa and my opulence. Now, knowledge of my Swarupa is what? Tell me, let us see who will answer this. Natvar Prabhuji. Natvar Gaur Prabhuji. Are you there?
Yes, Guruji. Hare Krishna, Guruji.
Knowledge of my Swarupa is what?
Swarupa means it is Lord's form.
No. Are you there from starting in our class discussion?
No, actually, I joined today, Prabhuji. I am in Nepal, so my
But
internet was not good.
right from the class when we began, then since then you're there in the online?
Not for many, like 1 week I wasn't there.
I understand my question now. Today we started at 7:15. So from 7:15, are you
Yeah,
there?
yeah, yeah. 7:15. Yeah, I was there.
So we have been using certain terminologies, Gyan and Vigyan.
Yeah.
So what is knowledge of my Swarupa? What it is?
Swarupa means began.
See, I want you to speak in the language what we should. And my opulence is what?
It's Jnana.
Gyan. Excellent. If this much you answer, that means I can understand. So Bhagavat spelling is a little wrong. I will change it here. Bhagavad Gyan. So you can know that also here, see, because, here it is mentioned. Lord's sweetness is Vijnanam. So Lord's Sham Sundar form. So it is described in this way. I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, am always situated in my Swarup and I possess all. 1 minute again. All potencies, potentials हो गए. Potencies. Shakti is in full. Okay. Shakti is in full. Brahma is only a featureless, nirvishesh expression of my potency and does not have a form. The existence of this Brahma is based on the concept of negation of the created world. It is based on the concept of negation. Paramatma is also partial manifestation of my energy in this world. In fact, Paramatma is specifically related to the temporary material world and does not have an eternal Swarupa. So both Mahavishnu uh, and Garbhodakshay Vishnu and Shirodakshay Vishnu, they are the three Paramatma features. Mahavishnu is the Paramatma for Pradhan, Garbhodakshay Vishnu is the Paramatma for each universe, and Shirodakshay Vishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu further expands into Shirodakshay Vishnu, who becomes a Paramatma who enters into each and every atom and he's there with each and every Jiva. So they are Paramatma features of the temporary material world. My only eternal feature is my eternal form of Bhagavan, which has two types of energy. Very wonderful explanation, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So the Lord has these two types of energy. One is called the external energy and it is called Bhairanga or Maya Shakti. Since it is the cause of the inert world, it is called Aparashakti. One should also understand the number of elements in this Aparashakti. The five gross elements, Mahabhuta, earth, water, fire, ether, and their five respective qualities, smell, taste, and all, totaling 10. Therefore, there are 10 elements. You should understand that the senses are their active components initiated by the elements of false ego, ahankar, and that the n manifested material mahatattva is their cause. So the active karmendriyas and the gyanendriyas, they form together 20, and the ahankar is uh, 21, and mind and Mana Buddhi, and then Mahatattva, altogether 24. The mind and intelligence have been mentioned as separate elements because of that prominent and distinctive functions among the group of elements, but in fact they are one. This entire group is my part of external energy. So this is my Bhairanga Shakti. So this is how Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains. Then the second energy of the Lord, which is Prakriti, but it is Para. Aparayamitastu anyam prakritim viddhi me param jiva bhutam mahabhavo yedam dharate jagat. This is my inferior energy. Iyam apara. So iyam apara, this is my inferior energy. Iyam apara refers to Bhagavad Gita 7.4. But understand, Vidhi tu. Now, whenever Krishna says Vidhi tu, means you have to really, focus and attentively hear. My superior energy, me param prakriti, which is different from this inferior. Itastu anyam. It is jivas. Now, jivas is plural here. That's why it is called a jiva bhutam. And it is mahabhavo because it is superior. Being superior, it should not come under the control of the inferior, but the inferior has taken control over the superior energy. And that's why one has to, uh, although sometimes the fog is a thin layer, but it covers the entire sun and we are lost in the fog. But the sun is very powerful. So soul is very powerful, Mahabhava, but now it has come under the control of the inferior energy. Why? Yedam dharete jagat, who employ the inferior energy for their inferior, because they try to enjoy the inferior energy. That's why they become enveloped by it. So Krishna is very sarcastically speaking here, ye dam dharete jagat, as though they are holding this world, and people in this world, you feel, as though, they take control over things and they feel that, if I am not there, this world will not run, they feel. Such a foolish thing, It's like, a person who is a prisoner in the prison house thinks that he is running the prison house. He is in fact behind the bars and he is jailed, he is chained, and he thinks that he is running this prison house. So the jiva is actually entangled in this body made of 24 elements, and he thinks he is controlling this world. Ye dam dharete jagat. This prakriti is called as the external energy. As it is not conscious, it is inferior, apara. Know also that there is other energy, tatastha shakti, which gives rise to jivas, which is superior, param, because it is conscious. So that is the difference. That the external energy is not conscious and the superior tatastha shakti, which is the jiva, is conscious. And the Lord is also conscious. That is the qualitative oneness between the Lord and us, that both are conscious. Why is the jiva considered superior? The unconscious matter, idam jagat, is employed dharate by this conscious jiva for jiva's own enjoyment. Okay, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Besides this material nature, aparashakti, there is my marginal nature, tatastha prakriti, which is also called as jiva, para prakriti. So all the terminologies are aparashakti, parash prakriti, tatastha prakriti. This prakriti is conscious and it manifests as the jivas or the living entities. The jivas emanating from that energy have made this inert material world conscious. The jiva has the capacity to understand and move in either the transcendental world, which has emanated from my internal energy, or in the inert material world, which has emanated from my external energy. So why the jiva is tatastha? Because it can be either in the Antaranga Shakti or in the Bhairanga Shakti, because it is tat. It is situated on the bank. Just like, you when you're walking on the beach, you are on the tat bank and you can be on the sand or you can be in the ocean, based on the waves, you know. So you're a Tatastha Shakti, and you can be either be situated in the Antaranga Shakti or the Baiduranga Shakti. For this reason, the Jiva Shakti is also called Tatastha Shakti. So that's what I explained just now. Okay, text 7.6. I don't know what's the time. We have another 10 minutes. Okay, I'll finish this 7.6 and then we will take up questions. Etadhyonini bhutani sarvanityubhadaraya aham krishnasya jagata prabhava pralayasata. No, upadharaya, that all things of the universe, sarvani bhutani, have the origin in these two energies. Etadhyonini iti, and I am tataham, the origin and dissolution, prabhava pralaya of the whole universe, krishnasya jagata. Now it is very interesting. Krishna is saying, I am the origin of this para shakti and the apara shakti. But the para shakti is conscious and this is inert. And this manifestation of this apara shakti goes through what? Prabhava and pralaya. Pralaya, origin and dissolution. But the jivas, they don't go through origin and dissolution because the jivas are eternal. That's why Krishna only refers to only this, that, of this Jagata he mentions. So that is in reference to only the Aparashakti and not the Parashakti. Please remember that. The Lord is the cause of the world by these two energies. Know that all moving and non-moving entities arise from these two energies, Maya Shakti and Jiva Shakti, Kshetra and Kshetragya. Kshetra and Kshetragya will be the terms used beginning from the 13th chapter onwards. So within this world, there is conscious entities and unconscious matter, and the whole material world is a combination of this, para and apara Shakti. And Krishna is the source of both, he is the cause of everything. I am alone the creator of this universe, Prabhava. Since these two energies arise from me, and I am alone the destroyer of the universe, since it merges into me, the possessor of the two energies. So you can see very clearly it is spoken about creation of the universe and destruction. There is no creation of the soul and destruction of the soul because the soul is eternal. Okay, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. The conscious and the inert, that is the jiva and the inert creation, have emanated from these two prakritis. Para prakriti and apara prakriti. Both Maya Shakti and Jiva Shakti are my potencies since they originate from me. Aham Krishnasya etad yonini mutani. They are originate from me. I, Bhagavan, am therefore the root cause of both the origin and dissolution of the universe, not of the jivas. Please remember that. Okay. So, okay. I will stop here. Any questions you have up till now? Because I want to take 7.7 in conjunction with 7.8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So that we will start, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is Nasim Chaturasi. Everyone will be having in their local temples the festival celebration. So we will meet on Friday, that is first. Okay, Vinita Machaji has a question. Yes, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Sangat Punya.
Yes, yes.
Prabhuji, I want to understand that the difference is conscious and non-conscious. Like
Basically,
consciousness and
consciousness means, the cognizance, the ability to think, feel, and will, you know.
okay.
Because we are conscious beings, we have that ability. And being conscious, we have the power and the capacity to know. That is the chit feature of the Lord.
Okay.
So,
And
but
we get it from the soul or super soul?
it is coming from the soul, but ultimately, it is like also controlled by the super soul. Like, the knowledge, as much as the super soul gives the soul, you can understand. But the soul on its own can realize that, I am different from matter. Atma Gyan also is there, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So like that, but uh, matter doesn't have consciousness. Matter cannot think, feel, and will. This is the basic fundamental difference.
Okay. And how is it different from intelligence?
Now, when we speak about intelligence, basically you have to understand that the soul has its own spiritual intelligence, but the soul now, which has come in the form of a seed, it is covered by gross and subtle bodies. So the soul uses the faculty of intelligence, which is the external element, Bhairanga Shakti, for discrimination. It uses the mind, for thinking, you know, and it uses the gross body for seeing. Now, when you are hearing me now, who
Mm,
is hearing? It is the soul which is hearing through the faculty of the ears.
mm,
But who is hearing it? It is the soul who is hearing, but the soul needs this faculty arrangement. But the soul on its own has
mm,
its own, functions, spiritual functions of hearing. That is this when it is completely spiritualized, when it has its own spiritual body, then it is only tuned to spiritual vibrations. But now, because we have the desire to enjoy, that's why we have been given this, faculties of the gross and subtle body through which we see, think, hear through the instrument of, the senses and the body. Are you getting this point?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Bir Krishpuji, you had a question? Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, this Lord's universal form, when we say it's a temporary, it is because it is
We'll
related
not
with
come to
this
this now.
Bhinna Prakriti. I mean,
No,
it
no,
is
we'll
related
will not
with the.
come to this now. We'll hold on till the 11th chapter.
All right.
Let's go systematically develop this. Krishna is systematically going to take us to higher levels of realization of him in matter, realization of him in his vibhutis, and then realization of him in his universal form, and then there is realization of his impersonal form, and then there's a personal form. There is a gradual elevation happening from the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th to 12th chapters. So, like that, let's go step by step. So, kindly hold
I
on.
was just thinking. I was just thinking, Prabhu, when we say Bhinna Prakriti,
Hmm.
so because it is Bhinna Prakriti, that's why uh, Bhinna Prakriti, since it is temporary, so universal form is also temporary. That way I was thinking.
Well, let's not go into that discussion now.
Right.
That's my point. Let's not go into that discussion now. If you want to understand Bhinna, why Bhinna is saying it is separated energy, because it is inert.
Mm.
It is not part of his Swarupa. But the Jivas have a connection with the Lord. Mame Vamsho Jiva Loke. They are his part and parcels.
Mm.
Your children are your part and parcel. That's a deep connection you have, right? You know.
Mm.
So even when they are separated, you are not separated, because you're connected, right? Correct.
Right.
But
Right.
the inferior energy is a energy which is separated energy of the Lord. So like that you have to understand. So Prabhupada gives a standard example, just like I am giving and speaking to you, you are hearing my sound vibration. So it is my energy. But that same sound vibration, when it is recorded in a tape recorder and you are hearing me, it's Prabhupada's audio only you're hearing, Prabhupada's sound only hearing, but still it is his separated energy. It's not directly
Mm.
connected to him. But when Prabhupada directly is speaking and you are hearing, it's Prabhupada's energy, you know. So it is connected to him. But this is a separated energy, like that.
Right. Right.
Prabhupada gave a very nasty example. You must be knowing that, just like you are very beautiful, but your stool is not beautiful. It is your separated energy. So this material energy which we want to enjoy is a separated energy. Then Lord doesn't enjoy this Shakti. That's why it's like the other wife. But because the jivas have the desire, that's why, he connects with Maya Shakti in order to create the universe so that the jiva's tendency to enjoy can be fulfilled. So like that, it is a separated energy. That's how we have to understand. Okay?
Thank you, Guru. Thank you, Guru. Thank you. Hare
Okay,
Krishna.
there's one more question. Yes, Navneet Kalra Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I
Yes.
just want to understand, does Aishwarya Gyan progresses into Madhurya Gyan?
Yes, that is what is going to happen as the more we understand. I gave that example of two friends. The one friend who is very rich, he comes to know, oh, this friend of mine owns this car factory, and the more and more he knows, and at the same time, he is having the same friendship, and he doesn't. So his attachment to his friend, first of all, knowing the Aishwarya, he becomes more, oh, my friend, he's owning so many companies. But he just comes to his simple hut and he takes food with him and he has very intimate exchanges. That all the more that sweetness, what he relishes, so it increases. So the Lord is like that. He is Anant Koti Brahmanda Nayak, all the universes he owns, but he takes a role of a charioteer for his devotee out of prema. So imagine what is the love Arjuna has for Krishna and what is the love Krishna has for Arjuna, that he takes up this role. And he's not having any air that I am the owner of this universe and unlimited universes. How can I be a chariot driver? That is how it increases the madhurya. So the more we have the Aishwarya Gyan, the more the madhurya will increase, and then ultimately it is madhurya which pervades and Aishwarya goes in the background, and ultimately it is only Madhurya, which is Vraj Bhakti, and that is how Vishwanath Chakra Thakur is presenting his Bhagavad Gita based on Vraj Bhakti. Did you get it?
Yes, because like for Aishwarya Gyan, for what we are getting now, we feel because that is a truth that
It is
Krishna
necessary.
is.
It is necessary
Yeah,
for us. It is necessary for us so that we get more and more connected to Krishna. Maya Sakta Manapartha. We have to come to that point, na?
yeah.
And both Aishwarya Gyan together with Madhurya Gyan is Bhagavad Gyan. You have to remember.
Oh. So it will, does it, but does the Aishwarya Gyan influence the bhava you will have for the Lord? Because it will be a different feeling, right?
No, please understand there are two different terminologies we use and they have different meanings in context.
Okay.
Now, within the terminology, what Aishwarya and Madhurya has defined is understanding the powers of the Lord. Powers means how his Shaktis are working in this world. But there is Aishwarya feature of the Lord in Narayan in Vaikuntha, where the Lord is worshipped in awe and reverence. And there is the Lord of Vrindavan who is worshipped in his sweetness feature, that is Madhurya feature. I'm not speaking about Madhurya Prem, please remember that.
Yeah.
So, there, when you use those terminologies, don't mix the two. That's my point here.
Okay. Yeah.
Here, you just understand from this perspective, and this will lead to understanding the sweetness of Krishna as Shamsundar. And you'll see when Krishna is speaking here, Maya Sakta, my Shamsundar form. That's how Vishwanath Chakravarti is translating it.
Yeah.
But if you see, Shamsundar Krishna doesn't speak Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
It is Vasudev Krishna who speaks Bhagavad Gita.
In
Shamsundar
the
Krishna is only
Aishwarya
playing
form.
flute in Vrindavan.
Hmm.
He doesn't give knowledge. He's only into
Because the
rasa.
gopis don't even care about the knowledge.
He's in
They're just
rasa. He's
flowing
in
with.
rasa. He's in
Yeah.
rasa. So we have to understand that, but Vishwanath Chakravarti's perspective we should see and we should just follow that. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Okay,
Thank you,
so thank
Prabhuji.
you very, very much. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Hare